My name is Dawn Houston. I'm the coordinator for Booktrib's Book Club program. I'm here today with author Sarah Sawyer to talk about her novel, The Undercurrent, a gripping portrait of motherhood, obsession, broken family bonds, and buried secrets. And if that isn't a good teaser, I don't know what is. The Undercurrent is one of the selections available in Booktrib's Book Club program for August, which we are very excited about. So thank you so much for taking a bit of time to talk to us today, Sarah.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
We're excited. I know I only have my 5 minutes, my maximum 5 minutes. So I'm just going to dive in with questions. No spoilers, but what can you share about the book that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover? Maybe some insider information.
Sure. First of all, I want to say that I love my cover. It was quite a process, which could make a novel in and of itself, getting the novel a good right cover. And I love the way it has layers, which I think is important to the story. But something that did not make it onto the cover that I think is a really interesting aspect of the story is the arctoi, which are these ancient Greek girls who would leave their families and go live in the woods as part of the cult of Artemis. And they would, young girls, around the age of 10, 11, 12, would go and wear these yellow robes and live in the woods. And that's part of one of the characters in the story's professional work. And it's something that I stumbled upon that I really love as a metaphor in the story. So that's something that's definitely not on the cover that I think is a great part of the story, or one of my favorite parts of the story.
That sounds fascinating. You had me hooked. I actually got chills when you were talking about that.
Yeah,
That's so
it's
cool.
weird.
Yeah. Did you have to do a lot of research about that?
So it's sort of funny. My father is a classics professor. So, for much of my life, he would kind of drone on about the classics and I would tune out, you know. But I took a lot of Latin and I took Greek also. So some of those stories are just kind of in my bones. And I'm always interested in myths and their notion of transformation. And I think particularly when it involves women, it's always like a woman running into the woods and turning into like a deer or something's happening. She turns into a fountain, she's weeping forever. So a lot of those stories to me try to access that essential part of mothering and womanhood and the kind of witchiness of it in the way that those stories are told. So that's something I kind of wanted to get in there that I think is really fascinating. So I was happy. I kind of stumbled upon it, to be honest, and in the way that the character in the story does, and
Yeah.
I loved it. So
That kind of actually segues into the next question, because I imagine that would be a topic, but why do you think The Undercurrent would make such a great book club selection?
So I love this question. I think one of the things that people love to talk about in books is a sort of a moral quandary, how a character works his or her way through whatever the sort of problem that they're encountering is. I think I'm an English teacher, so we talk about these things in class all the time, but I think that one of the things that happens in novels is that people want to see them as sort of like a how-to manual rather than a story. It's like the story is not telling you how to live, it's telling you the way this person lives so that you can think more about the way that you live.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this story, the mothers are really flawed in the way that I also am flawed, not in these particular ways, but but right. I think people can recognize the sort of desire to be good and to do good that these women experience. But also they make a ton of mistakes, and really crucial, horrible ones. And I think that those, are good things to talk about. I also think that just the experience of looking at yourself as a younger self once you get to be a little bit older can be really profound. And I think that's something
Yeah.
that would, um, you know, elicit a lot of conversation in a group for sure.
Fantastic. Well, I definitely can't wait to read it. I
Good.
have not yet, but it's high on my TBR.
Oh, good.
But I am still
I
building
hope you like
I'm
it.
sure I will. I'll let you know. I am still building my beach bag TBR. So we're gonna segue off your book and just
Yeah.
ask, what's the best book, fiction or nonfiction, that you've read in the last little while, and why should I add it?
Well, I read so many that I love. So the book I find myself telling other people to read all the time is the book Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. It's a phenomenal book, and it's a book sort of unlike anything else that I've read over the course of the year. So I always am really drawn to those kind of fearless. I don't know. He's a poet. I know him as a poet primarily. So I was really excited that he had a novel. And I was just amazed by the capacity of the story and the way I don't like books that are sort of just showy in their language.
Right. Yeah.
I like character, I like plot, I want things to happen.
Yeah.
And I thought that he just did a masterful job of combining like just really beautiful language with this very compelling character, this little Cyrus guy. I loved him.
Oh,
Really
that
good
sounds
for him.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very,
sold.
very
I'm gonna
yeah.
add that one for sure.
It's very good. I recommend.
Okay, highly recommend. I'll take that recommendation. I honestly would love to talk to you for longer, but I did promise 5 minutes and I know I'm even over already. So we will wrap this up. But thank you again for your time and best of luck with this release.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Of course, for more information about Sarah's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Thank you.